And as the 1% thinks about how to tweak the capitalist system, another group wants to change it radically. And they're holding a forum of their own. It's called the World Social Forum, and it's taking place right now in Porto Alegre, Brazil. Brazil President Dilma Rousseff decided to ditch the elites and instead attend an event which has brought together a medley of social movement groups from around the globe. The event rivals the exclusive forum happening now in Davos. So can the World Social Forum shake things up enough to change the system? Well, to help answer this question and more is Mike Norman, Chief Economist of John Thomas Financial. Welcome, Norman. So we have several different groups, from the Arab Spring to Occupy Wall Street, Spain's indignant movement. They're all taking part in this forum. What do they all have in common?
Well, I think what they have in common is an expression of outrage of what we've seen, policies which have resulted in massive income inequality around the world, inequality that has risen to a level where it's even being noted in the elitist gathering in Davos. Not that anything is going to be about it. And there's the point I have to make is that while this is a great alternate Davos, if you will, I'm not very optimistic that anything is going to come out of that, simply because we see throughout the world policy is being dictated and dominated by these elites. Look, we're not even talking about the failure of capitalism or the problems with capitalism as it exists right now. It's not capitalism. We're really talking about socialism for an elite group of people, corporate socialism, where policy by design around the world in the wealthy nations and elsewhere has been fashioned to a degree where most of the public wealth of nations now flowing up to that top 1%. And the result of this, it has created unstable economies. It has created unstable social environments. I don't see that changing anytime soon, which means that less for the 99%, more for the 1%, and a highly unstable economic system.
So this movement is, it's dubbed as being anti-capitalist. They're protesting the fact that capitalism is not working. What then is the alternative?
Well, first of all, let's understand, as I said before, this is not capitalism. This is clearly socialism for large institutions and an elite group in the world. What will work? Look, let's understand something right now, okay? We hear a lot about maybe shortages of energy, shortages of food, shortages of capital, indeed shortages of money. But we have none of that. The only thing we lack really in the world today is moral leadership. That's what we lack. And I think that's where the focus is moving towards. The understanding that, look, we're having policy being driven by people, by leadership, which is morally bankrupt. And the attention has to first start there. And that's what I think these alternate movements and Occupy Wall Street have drawn attention to. From this, perhaps we'll start to see political change which sort of adjusts or rights the system. But for now, I think if you look at what we're seeing happening in Europe, if you look at what we're seeing happening here in the United States, it only seems to me to be an intensification of this wealth flow to the top 1%, creating a highly unstable economic environment.
And, Mike, how successful do you think they are, or they will be, in getting their message out as a rival to the World Economic Forum?
Well, look, I'm rooting for them. Unfortunately, I'm not very optimistic. I just don't see where they have the political leverage right now to really affect any sort of large change, okay? Most of Occupy Wall Street, if you look at when that was going on here in the United States, no connection with the political process. It was mocked broadly. So I think it still has a long way to go. The positive thing that came out of it, in my opinion, was it did draw attention to this problem of inequality, which is a big problem. And I think just the fact that even if they're talking about it